Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our session two, Living Wealthy, the Basics, Power and Freedom, the current world of power and freedom. Tonight's workshop consists of the real mind money matrix, conversations for wealth, and our prosperity blaster. Thank you for joining us. I am your course leader, Nikki, and tonight with me as your other course leaders are Viara, Nicole, and Ronnie B. The intention of this course is for people to create breakthroughs in their ability to create breakthroughs for living wealthy. This six-session seminar has inquiries and exercises you can apply when immediately in resolving issues and to create possibilities that manifest results that exceed expectations. There is a powerful way to listen and participate in this seminar. Listen from what am I committed to having as a breakthrough from my participation? In the areas of power and freedom, what breakthrough are you committed to having from your participation this evening? Remember to make it something that is specific and measurable. Note, we said committed. Without commitment, you're fooling yourself. Without it being something specific and measurable, it's just a feeling, fantasy, or worse, a good idea that will never get acted upon. There are those who are clear what they're committed to, and others who need a little time. So let's share what your fellow participants are saying about session one, shall we? We have Amanda Sanchez out of Chicago, Illinois, who says, I love this webinar, especially the conversations for our current world of money and the mind money trap. I have seen similar matrices when I was in college and in one of the Rich Dad books. What stands out is how Nikki relates it to your current world that is powerful. I was first introduced to the matrix from Diva Nikki's Future Wealth Workshop. I had a huge breakthrough in my insurance business. I worked to listen for the current world of my clients and being present to the matrix. From doing that work, I was able to close over 500K in new business in less than 3 months. It has been amazing. When I saw this webinar was coming up next, I was like, send me that download ASAP. Session one of this seminar was surprising when you went over the matrix. I assumed I already knew what you could get out of the matrix. I forgot all about the what you don't know, you don't know. What I didn't know was how much I treat my husband like he's stupid or scared when it comes to money and investing. We have been married over 24 years, and when it comes to money, I have to explain repeatedly why an investment makes sense. Often he just says, whatever you say, which makes the decision my responsibility. My husband is an auto mechanic and makes a six-figure salary. He is forward thinking and he saw that the future was going to be autonomous cars and electric vehicles years before it happened. He went back to school and got certified to work on those cars. So he is making money hand over fist as an employee and loves it. For the first time, I saw his view of money was pure and simple, as I just want to do the work and get paid. I like the things that come with owning a business and managing 10 employees. I am not smarter or better than him when it comes to money or what should be done with money. It is just that he trusts me, and that is all that matters to him. Maybe I need to be happy that I do have a husband that feels that way. What I'm committed to having as a breakthrough in this webinar is having my employees produce more money for themselves beyond the insurance business. Nikki rocks. What say you, VR, Nicole, and Ronnie B?
Nikki rocks.
Concur. Humbly. Nicole, you have anything that you'd like to?
You do rock, Nikki. Definitely you rock. And
Oh.
what 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 I like what occurs to me is that Amanda is like really clear about the occurring world of her husband. Like she got really clear about that.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I think she gives is that um he trusts her, and that's all that matters to him. It's like, wow, that's pretty powerful. That's his occurring world, and you're empowered
Mm.
in his world. His occurring
Mm-hmm.
world is he basically is, he's like, you are powerful, you have freedom, and I trust that whatever decision you make about our money will be what's going to make the difference for us.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just, to me, it's like she got a huge breakthrough in her relationship with her husband.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you rock, girl.
But
You
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 know what,
caused
Nikki?
you caused that. You caused that.
We work
Yeah,
together.
the one thing I heard her say was, maybe I should just be glad that he trusts me with the money. And sometimes it's like we look for problems that don't exist.
Right.
You know, exist. So if he didn't trust her with the money, that would be a problem. But he
Right.
trusts you with the money, and you're making or creating a problem out of that. Of course, you want to have collaborative conversations. You want it to be a partnership, but I think a lot of times we make issue out of things that are not really issues. And if she's comfortable managing the money, my question would be, what's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
There would be a problem.
Mm-hmm. And for myself, I think here we have a situation where it's just really being comfortable in that someone trusts your decision making, like what Nicole said. They trust your decision making, which is huge. That is a big deal. We don't even have to fight over it. This is your strength. You get to operate in your strength without me infringing upon it.
That's cool. And
Yep.
something else that I heard, just to kind of give it. Now, remember, this is someone who's been married 24 years.
Right.
This isn't like newlyweds, and now we're coming into this.
Right.
So for 24 years, she's been making him wrong. I mean, and then but also making herself wrong.
Yes.
Because what she's been putting on him is that, oh, you're gonna just make it my responsibility. Like if things go wrong, it's my fault. But
Mhm.
at least from the context, I don't get that he's acting that way. He's like, hey, baby, like you said, hey, I'm happy, just but her occurring world was that I'm gonna be at fault,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know, and that doesn't just show up with her husband.
I bet. You're right.
because wherever you happen to be, your current world is right there with
Right.
Yes,
you.
yes, indeed.
It is right there with you. And like she said, she didn't realize how much she treated him
Hmm.
like he was stupid or scared. So for 24 years, she's been treating him like he's been stupid or scared. And you have to, kind of wow, she really does have a great husband,
Right.
to tolerate that. And, it's obviously he just loves her. And part of that is that, hey, I trust you. And whatever way you being about this, I'm still happy with it. So, there's a lot there, but Miss Amanda, well, congratulations. And also, I like how she took on that uh, she's in the insurance business. Her employees are making money in the insurance business, but she wants them to go beyond that.
Right.
She wants them to go beyond that. And, I go kudos because how many employers even care?
That
You
is so
know,
true.
you're doing the job I'm paying you to do.
That is so true.
So that's it for me.
All right. Well, thank you all for chiming in.
Sometimes,
Next, we have Calvin Ochoa out of Sacramento, California, who says, VR is right. You act on how you perceive things, which is your current world, but maybe not the other person's. Before this course, I didn't have any power in impacting how I perceive things, especially my ability to make money. I tried all the mental masturbation techniques, positive thinking, affirmations, intentional thinking, blah, blah, blah. The mind money matrix is something that finally made sense. I can see my perspective as simply a perspective. I see that I am constantly fighting to get people to agree to my perception. There was something Nicole said about the matrix dictating what I do, disguised as free will. I realized I'm way more concerned about people agreeing with my perceptions than getting the money. Damn, I have a home based business and have attended every meeting, workshop, seminar, webinar, and event. You name it, I was there and have not been making any money. This week, I made $1,448. The only thing I have done different is listen to the perceptions of others instead of trying to push my own views. I like this conversation about the current world. It's simple to understand, but deep. Now, let me check in with the team again.
You know that matrix dictating what you do disguised as free will. I mean, it's like it's kind of like it just reminds me of some kind of cartoon. I can't remember where there's like this snake and it's just kind of like whispering to people, and then and they're listening to what he's saying, and then you see their eyes kind of going around in concentric circles. I can't remember the name of that cartoon, and it's like in their minds they've really been brainwashed by the matrix, but they think that it's coming from them,
hmm,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Hmm.
They really think they're saying it, basically they're repeating what's already been said or what they've heard, and it's not something they're generating. Like, he real when he got clear about that, he got that, wow, he's done all this stuff, who's just basically kind of repeating what everybody's been telling him to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then once he got, it's like, you know what? I really hadn't really been listening for how others are perceiving things. I'm not listening, like, I'm not really like listening and getting in their world. And that's way outside the matrix. In the matrix, you're not listening to it for anybody's world. You're just in that world that you think is real, which is really the matrix. Once he got stepped outside the matrix for just a moment, boom, like this loud thunderclap, and then his money started rolling in.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about him anymore.
Right. It wasn't about him anymore. Anybody else? Okay. Well,
Well, one
I'm going.
thing, I I really like a lot of what Nicole said, and the matrix is nefarious, because it's like, because one, it's a self-created matrix, so it knows you so well, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, because it's self-created, only you don't realize that you created that thing and that it's dictating not how you may choose. Like yesterday, I may have wanted vanilla ice cream, but today I can choose chocolate, or I can choose vanilla, but I want it to be a choice.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so the matrix takes away that choice, but has you think that you're operating within choice. So yeah, that's all. Yeah, and congratulations.
Right.
Congratulations.
Yes. Congratulations on bringing in the money. Okay. So I'm going to continue now if there's nothing else. Here is a bold statement. Your actions for having power and freedom in the present are based on the future you have created for having power and freedom, not your past. If the past is dictating your actions in the present for having power and freedom, there is something inauthentic hidden from your view. You have the power to create the future anytime, under any circumstances, because of the power in your words. Your words impact you, your environment, your community, and the world. For those who missed the first session, we have great news. Nicole is going to review the Mind Money Matrix. Can we get some yay?
Yay!
Woo-hoo!
Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you. Take it on.
So, the mind money matrix is divided into four quadrants: employee, self employed, business owner, and investor. This isn't absolute. Someone may have a great job as a fireman and make extra money renovating houses and flipping them. So, your mindset when it comes to generating income is based in the first two quadrants: employee, self employed. Your efforts or individual work create your income. So, for example, a deli owner has employees and works in the deli to reduce costs. But when the deli owner chooses to take vacations, the deli has been structured in ways to operate without their presence. Business owners create business owners create structures or systems for producing income that use the available resources and build teams. Now, investors, that contrast with investors who create income from being partners in businesses that have proven income producing structures for success. So remember the quadrants. We kind of go back over the quadrants again. Employee, self-employed, business owner, and investor can overlap because they aren't absolute. It's just handy to know what is informing you and others in your conversations. This matrix keeps business owners and entrepreneurs boxed into their past experiences for generating sales, marketing, and creating partnerships. The past becomes the basis for creating your future as a business owner. But guess what? It's a trap. Once you begin to realize the limitations that the mind money matrix imposes on your access to power, you also start seeing the insidious limitations it is imposing on others. What are you present to from this inquiry? I have a secret concerning the mind money matrix. Are you interested in learning the secret? I'm going to share with you the real mind money matrix. So the mind money matrix I presented earlier was about having us be present to the fact that there is a matrix. Once you're present to a thing, you have it. It doesn't have you. So this is the real mind money matrix. Okay. We have 4 quadrants like we did before. The first one is listening for having money that's already there. The second one is the complaints that persist for having money. The third one is the conviction and the lie for having prosperity. And the fourth one is fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So from those 4 quadrants, what do you see that's different? Our occurring future of power and freedom is mainly based on our past. It impacts how we generate money or perceive how we can and should create an income for living wealthy. This matrix keeps you boxed into your past experiences for generating wealth, money, and income. And the past becomes the basis for generating your future of living wealthy. So let's talk about these quadrants again. So it's listening for having money that's already there. The second quadrant is the complaints that persist for having money, which is the predictable future for having power and freedom. The conviction and the lie for having prosperity. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which we also call the FUD factor. Another way to look at that would be lack of faith. So these 4 quadrants combine as a matrix manifesting your occurring world for living wealthy, especially for power and freedom. So let me check with the team. So
One
what do
of the
you,
things,
yeah, what do
yeah,
you think, Ronnie B?
yeah, one of the things is that the uh, the original Matrix was kind of like nice and neat and more about what you do. This is what I do. All of those quadrants were about doing. Where these quadrants are about being. The listening. So who are you being enters that. What's the listening for having money that's already there. And I just want to say that's the listening you have about money that's already there. And then it's interesting that the that fear, something that stood out to me was fear, uncertainty, doubt, lack of faith. And, uh, and I guess I'm just, certain things are just popping up. Like, I look at that and it's like that fear, uncertainty, doubt. Most of us wouldn't want to say that we have any fears or uncertainties or doubt. We might have questions, but you like they say, never let them see you shaking your boots. But for some reason, what came to mind was a book I read about Dr. King, where he had fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And it was like, wow, this great man can have that. And maybe that's the key, that he can have it and it doesn't have him. So that's just kind of some thoughts that came up.
Yeah, I like that last ending you put on there, Ronnie, because I was gonna say something just like that. Is that it's not that great people don't have fear; they just don't let it control them. So, like you said before, this occurring, um, it's what you create. So what are you creating? What kind of environment are you creating? And realizing what you're creating, that it's you, that you have control over it, and that you can manipulate it. And then focusing more on what you can control than the things that you can't control.
Something else that I see is that uh, if there's the result that you want to have, like in some area, there's a result or results you've been wanting to have, trying to have for years, working on having. And uh, we often say that, uh, be intentional, put your intention there. Well, oftentimes we think, and this is the trick about the mind, I'll say about the matrix, is that we will say, my intention is to have X happen by Friday. And when X doesn't happen, we look at it as, well, it didn't work, there were breakdowns, I failed, or whatever. But what we don't look at is that whatever we intend within our occurring world happens. It produces in real time. So whatever result we got was actually the result of the intention. It's just that we didn't get that the result we have is actually a demonstration of our real intention.
You just scratched on the conviction and the lie for having,
Well, I'm not
for
going to get
having
ahead. I'm not
prosperity.
going to get ahead in the seminar. But yeah, it's like, wow, well, wait, X didn't happen. Well, X didn't happen because your intention was on X happening. It's because your intention was really on something else.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Because
totally
your
undistinguished.
your
Mm-hmm.
results always tell you the truth of your intention. So
Wow.
that's kind of
Powerful. So,
Mm-hmm.
Nikki, what do you have to say?
What
What
I
do
have
you
to
see?
what I have to say is I want to chime in on the fear, uncertainty, and doubt. The lack of faith. There comes a point in time when you are choosing and allowing yourself to be intentional in order to create the future where you have to focus on what you see, which is the vision, not what it looks like.
hmm. Oh yeah.
I got it. So focusing on the what, and really having faith about the how it's going to happen. I mean, you could have those steps, right? And people
Yeah.
like the guy that Carlos earlier, who did all the stuff. He did the steps, right? because he
Right.
was focusing on the tactics versus the, like how we're going to do it versus the overall vision of what it was he was causing. So you're just so dead on with that. And, and to add, the whole quadrant about complaints that persist for having money, the predictable future for having power and freedom. There's like that almost certain future that unfolds around the area of power and freedom around money.
Mm-hmm.
Those persistent complaints that people have,
Right.
and they're creating on top of all of those complaints, and the complaints are really what's driving the result. It's like, of course,
Oh,
like I'm
ooh,
never going to have any
perfect.
money. I'm like, of course you're right, you're not. I mean, no matter what you say, this is beyond affirmations, because what's operating in the background is driving you think you're doing something in the foreground, but the background is really what's what's driving the bus. And then when you go off the
Exactly.
cliff, you wonder, oh my God, how did I run off the cliff? It's because the matrix is like that little snake, that's kind of like whispering in a person's ear, and they think that, they don't realize that you drove off the bus because of that background conversation undistinguished.
Mm.
Yes.
And that background conversation is that is what's going to happen. That's your predictable future right there.
That is your guaranteed, guaranteed.
You can
That
take it to
is
the
your
bank.
predictable future.
You take it to the bank and it'll be zero.
Y'all
So,
causing trouble over there. You're on
so
y'all
with
people's bank accounts and stuff.
well, we're really all here about, having power and freedom in the area of money. And, we're having some really powerful conversations for power and freedom. And that's the step. It's not about the money, it's about the power and the freedom. Power and
That's
freedom, you
right.
have whatever you want. Money, fill in the blank. But it's like really getting to having access to the source of power and freedom. So, with that, we're going to take a 6-minute break. When we return to discussing the predictable future of having money.
Divine order. My life is in divine order. I affirm divine order every day, many times a day. My affirmations do not make things magically happen. Rather, the words keep me focused on the truth of natural order. From this awareness, I remain in a place of inner calmness and peace despite outer conditions. This is no guarantee that life will be without challenges at times, but it means that if a challenge presents itself, I am able to call upon my inner powers of faith and wisdom. I affirm divine order and know that I have the power to reinterpret any negative appearance in my life. I affirm and know that whatever happens, there will be a blessing. With my positive affirmations, I invite positive energy and abundant blessings into my life and the lives of others. I am divine order. All things should be done decently and in order. First Corinthians 14:4. Trials and tribulations, love, hey, Mary, go around, both feet on the ground.
make believe. A heart is moisturized, don't need no make believe. Cupid gun me down like David Kennedy. Othello just a monologue.
Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the break. And we'll be starting back in just a moment with conversations for wealth uh, with Nikki. And we should be starting back pretty soon here. Hey, Nikki, you ready to start us back?
Oh, I am definitely ready to start us back.
Go forward.
All righty. Well, welcome back. Conversations for Wealth. Last session, we snuck in a preview of the real matrix with an exercise to start the process of revealing the listening for having money that's already there. You created the following categories: wealth, money, relationships, freedom, recreation. Under each category, you answered the question: what do I desire that I do not have or is not at the level of fulfillment I seek? Then, next to each item, you wrote three conversations or actions you take that consistently keep the results you desire in that area from being fulfilled. Here is what Margaret shared from her participating. Margaret Peters, Los Angeles, California, says, first, let me say this is a wonderful webinar. Well, thank you, Margaret, and is sorely needed for the people in my community and family. I did the assignment. It was just what I needed. Under the category of money, one thing I have wanted for a long time was to treat my parents to a vacation. The three conversations or actions I consistently take that keep me from making this happen. One, I don't have enough money to take us all on vacation. Two, now is not the right time for me, even if I have the money. And then I want them to have a vacation and they will really be proud of me. The more I looked at my answers, the more I kept thinking, well, so what? That's the truth. So what? Then it hit me like a ton of bricks. I say I want to treat my parents to a vacation, but everything that stops me from making it happen is about me. Do I have to be there? It would be nice, but it would be easier to send them by themselves. I felt stupid and relieved. Margaret, no need to feel stupid. You're probably a lot of things. We're not going to say stupid is one of them, okay? Just needed a different perspective. Carry on. She says, I booked a nice 7-day cruise for my parents. They are excited and telling everyone how proud they are of me. I have been working on this for 8 years, and this webinar made it happen. God bless, and please keep us with these wonderful seminars. Keep giving us these wonderful seminars. Now, let me check in with the team. Before I do, I want to say this again. Margaret, I am so glad that you had your breakthrough. I'm so glad the family is going on vacation and that you found that you didn't have to be there in order for it to happen. Taking yourself out of the equation in order to get the results that you really wanted is powerful. And thank you. Team, what say you?
Well, you just nailed it. I mean, it's like once Margaret got that, she didn't have to be there with them, right? Because she was looking at, oh, she's probably just all the stuff, she wrote down the three conversations or the actions that she consistently takes that keep her from having what she wants to happen. And she really got it boiled down to, like, she's got to be there, you know and it's really, she is just committed to it looking a certain way. And
Mm-hmm.
once she really got in her parents' current world, it's like, she was like, you know what, here's what I'd like to do. I love to give them a vacation. I love them. I would love to show my love and appreciation for them by doing that. And it could be very simple and easy once she got herself out of the way and really got that, her vision was really creating this gift for them. And once she really got into that spirit of giving and like really giving to them, all of the other stuff disappeared. And so poof, she got it done. 8 years. 8
8 years.
years. 8 years. And she just like did one exercise and got, wow, that was a whopper breakthrough for Margaret. Way to go, Margaret.
Yes. Way to go, Margaret. Exactly. Ronnie B, anything from you or VR?
One thing, I'm like, she could have sent me a ticket, but she could have sent me a ticket. Uh, once we have a common answer
Hmm.
for uh, when people ask this question, how are we doing? Fine, fine, everything's fine. And when someone asks the question, what do you desire that you do not have, or it's not at the level of fulfillment you seek, you have to kind of think about that. You can't just say fine.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, uh, because if there's something that you desire, if you do not have anything that you desire, that you do not have, and everything is at the level of fulfillment you seek, enjoy it because you're probably getting ready to move on. And I don't mean, I mean move on out of this realm.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
uh, but the question is an opportunity. And that's what I really saw was that Margaret took the opportunity to just look, just look what it
Mm-hmm.
is. I'm an intelligent person. I'm doing this and that. I can't make this. Well, what's there? And it reminds me of how the two people I probably love more than anybody in the world is the oldest of my sisters. I'm the oldest, and my mother.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother and sister were feud, and they called me feud. Mama said this, your sister said that. Mama said, and I'm running around, trying to, because I love them, I want them feuding and stuff. And so in my current world, it was a problem that I needed to resolve. And I'll say, like Margaret, there was a point where I got out the way and said, wait just a minute. Mama ain't got a problem with me. Sister ain't got a problem with me. Well, wait, I ain't got a problem. They got a problem. So I
Mm-hmm.
started letting them deal with each other. Now, a funny thing happened was that when I got out the way about a month or so later, they were all peachy keen, and now they had a problem. But see, now they had a different problem. It was called how can we now pick on my son and my brother? That gave them more fun, but they weren't feuding with each other. So I can get a lot of what Margaret said in there just by being able to inquire into the question, what do you desire that you do not have, or is not at the level of fulfillment you seek? Because there's power in your words. You are a divine being. You have power. If things are not going your way, what is occurring that you're having it not go your way? So that's what I kind of heard out of her share.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And the short side of that is that she was able to get herself out the way. A lot of times we keep saying we can't do something, but it's not that we can't do it. It's just the way we're looking at it. And she kept looking at the trip as her being a part of it, but she really didn't have to be a part of it in order for it to be successful.
And I can get automatically seeing it that way, as far as you seeing that you have to be there because you're the one planning it. And you kind of want to, I can get, you want to see the joy in their face in the trip. You want to participate in the activities with them being the trip. So I can completely get where she started out that way. It takes not just a breakthrough, but it also took her willingness to be selfless by removing herself.
Yeah, I agree. She had to realize that she didn't need to be a part of the equation in order for the equation to work.
Mhm.
You know, Again, when we go back to what was the
Mhm.
intention was for our parents to have a great trip,
Mhm.
and that's what she said. And what she was able to realize was that, wait, it's not happening, but it's not happening because I can't fulfill on my intention. There's something else in the picture,
Mhm.
and being
Yeah,
able
that
to,
background conversation that was driving the foreground.
yep.
Yes, indeed. Well, thank you, everybody. Now we're gonna go over to Nicole for the predictable future for having power and freedom. Nicole, over to you.
Thank you, Nikki. So we're going to have a little inquiry into the predictable future for having power and freedom. There's the future, the probable future, the possible future, and the certain future. We're inquiring into the predictable future. The predictable future is not a guaranteed future or a certain future. And if you are a betting person, that is, what would you put your money on happening? Here's an example of the predictable future. I received the credit card bill. And once again, my spouse has went over budget, way over budget. I'll talk to my spouse about the bill. We'll argue and fuss. We'll be mad at each other for 2 days. I say to myself, why bother complaining and just pay the bill? The predictable future. Next month, the credit card bill comes in and we repeat everything, the same thing again. In the predictable future, you are a victim. and you agree this is pretty much how things will go, and you're resigned to that future. There's no possibility for it to go any other way or to resolve the issue. What if there's a possibility for a different future? So let's try this on. I received a credit card bill, and once again, my spouse has went way over budget. I talked with my spouse about the bill. We argued and fussed. We were mad at each other for 2 days. I said to myself, I know how to fix this. So I called the credit card company and told them to lower our credit line. I received the credit card bill and my spouse is within the budget. I talked with my spouse about the bill. They tell me, see, I told you I could stay within the budget. I treat my spouse to dinner out and I go over the budget with him. So we are going to go deeper into the conversation and the other conversations in the matrix later. So allow yourself to simply be present to your predictable future for having power and freedom. And the best way to do that is with an exercise. Back to you, Nikki.
Thank you, Nicole. Give me a second. Adjust these headsets. So we have a little exercise. This is our the having exercise. We have a little exercise intended to empower you to generate the presence of having what you desire fulfilled. Create the following categories: wealth, money, relationships, freedom, recreation. Under each category, answer this question: what do I desire that I do not have or is not at the level of fulfillment I seek? Next to each item, write the predictable future. Remember, this is not the future you would like to have or even the probable, almost certain future. It is the take the money to the bank, predictable future. Include what happens or doesn't happen. You know, the lack of action, how you feel, and who you are being, like upset, resigned, sad. The cost to your power and ability to produce the results you desire around money. Again, include what happens or doesn't happen, how you feel, and who you are being. The cost to your power and ability to produce the results you desire around money. Include, while you are inquiring into the exercise, please let me check in with the team and see if they have anything to share. Ronnie, what say you about the predictable future?
All right. Do the exercise.
Of course.
do, do the exercise and you'll find out some stuff. But you know what? You know, as we said, what's there's a so many of us are so predictable. I'm predictable.
I'm predictable.
I'm predictable. Predictable is not a bad thing, you know. But what happens is that it's just like the matrix. When we'll lock that predictability into an absolute. And
Mm,
while it's predictable, it's not absolute. You know, things can go another way. And we
right.
become so blinded that we just won't see another way. And what tickles me about this is that now I'm sure that Nikki, BR, Nicole, y'all don't have any friends who give you the same complaint every time y'all get together. Now it may not be they may not start with that complaint, but somewhere in whatever conversation get together, they're gonna bring that complaint up.
Mm-hmm.
And for years, whatever amount of time, you give them a solution, and they always argue with you about the solution. Now I know
You
y'all
nailed
don't
it.
have nobody like
Stop
Up.
eavesdropping.
that.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what came to mind. Let's do the assignment.
Well, no, and you know what? It goes back to that gentleman that said he finally started listening.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get out of your own head and what you've already decided and determined, and start hearing what's really going on around you instead of just what's going on in your head and in your world, because it could become a blockage.
It's interesting when you really talk about listening. That the what advice I would have about this exercise is really to listen to yourself, because
Mm-hmm.
that voice, the one that you say that's not inside your head, that is that the first thing that comes to mind when you're doing the exercise is probably what you need to write down, instead of thinking about what I need to write down what's going to look good, what's going to sound good, or how, that kind of thing. It's like, this is really for you to forward having your desires fulfilled. This is really about you really claiming your power and freedom. And to do that, you got to be straight with yourself. Like, you got to tell the God honest truth, no matter how ugly it looks, because it's really between you and you. We're not going to read your answers. This is really a gift to you. So when it comes to your mind, when you're doing the exercise, answer the questions, answer what's there under the surface. The first thing that comes to your mind is probably it. That's probably it. Go with it
Hmm.
and have a
Indeed.
breakthrough.
And have a breakthrough. Indeed. All right. Anyone else? Anything else?
I think I really like that last thing that Nicole said. This is really about you. Like, you're not
Mm-hmm.
turning this into anybody. So this is a moment to really get honest with yourself.
Yes.
I do want to add this one thing. Don't try to pull a Gladys Knight.
What? What?
Gladys Knight.
Yeah, don't try to pull a Gladys Knight and go, just my imagination.
What?
Isn't that the Temptations?
I
I
got
was
it
thinking
from
mid.
the
I was
best
thinking about
of
Midnight Train to
my
Georgia. I mean, but
imagination.
Ronnie, you got me with
wow.
that one. You got me with that
Gotta use the
one.
best of my. Got to keep on keeping on.
Uh, you know what? Y'all, he got me. He got me. Thank you, Ronnie. Okay, everybody. Keep working on this exercise during the week. If you have any questions or need coaching, email us divas at prosperousdivas.com. Now we're going to take a 5-minute break, and when we return with the prosperity blaster.
Truth within. More truth lives within you than you have yet allowed yourself to discover. Open up to it. Give expression to its one. Envision the spark of an idea catching fire. See it blazing its way into reality through your mind and your hands. Seek for beauty, meaning, substance, joy to enter into life because of your life. Live each moment in a spirit that welcomes truth and goodness and gives them living expression. Have the courage to feel what you have never felt. Engage your patience, your diligence to give voice to those feelings. Live to know, to feel, to see what is true. Live to bring that truth to life in your own unique way. Vast stretches of love, beauty, truth, goodness today await your discovery. Live to let it all flood into life.
Straight flash, Matty rush, ghetto crush. Let me lick on the substitute of this chaotic life I choose. Oh yeah, Mr. Pullover. Oh yeah, that friend me over. Cool down. Pull over, Mr. Ice Cream Man. 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 Row the boat. Get up while it's still cold. Blow, flow, show the road. Pull over, Mr. Ice Cream Man. Pull over, Mr. Ice Cream Man. Pull over, Mr. Ice Cream Man. Watch it, punching in me, don't I rope a dope? It's just plenty, don't got no soap. Tell me, I cannot cope. Lonely, shorty, come we elope, yeah. Hurry, freaky, why you picking on me? Do it quickly, just let me be. Phony, can keep up on a pony, full fee. Come and show me, oh yes. Pull over, Mr. Ice Cream Man. Pull over, Mr. Ice Cream Man. Pull over, Mr. Ice Cream Man. Pull over, Mr. Ice Cream. Slow down on a Saturday. Monday, you're still a mile away. I've got you all so far away. Pull over, Mr. Ice Cream Man. 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 Oh yes, can't get to where I wanna be. So long I've been waiting at this hiking spot. Can't even lean on a tree. Every single one I lean on, they jump. Every time I plant a seed, Mr. Contraceptive germination stop. When I'm resting on a beach, they never give me enough. They only give me one drop. To where I wanna be. So long I've been waiting at this hiking spot. Can't even lean on a tree. Every single one I lean on, they jump. Every time I plant a seed, Mr. Contraceptive germination stop. When I'm resting on a beach, they never give me enough. They only give me one drop. Let me lick on the substitute of this chaotic life I choose. Oh yeah, Mr. Pullover. Oh yeah, that bring me over. Cool down.
Truth within. All right, Mr. Ice Cream Man. Okay.
Making me want some ice cream.
Yeah, it made me want to run out and get some ice cream. I have to listen to the lyrics again.
Don't do it. I ate enough earlier for everybody.
Oh,
I
thank,
promise you, I got you.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
You
You're
really
welcome.
appreciate you. Okay. All right, I have a great prosperity blaster for you this week. And we want you to remember this: to design or create anything, you must start with a blank canvas or slate. So a lot of what we're doing is so that you will have a blank canvas so that you can create with. Faith. I am faith in action. My faith calls me to believe that divine spirit is expressing life and wisdom through me. I answer that call by opening wide the window of my soul and living life in the fullness of joy and faith. My thoughts are previews of the good that is possible. In faith, I know the best is yet to be. My words are expressions of positivity. They set an expectation that encourages me and those around me to be contributors to the good that is unfolding. My actions demonstrate my faith at work through me. What I say and do, my invisible thoughts and prayers, as well as perceptible words and actions, confirm my faith that divine love is expressing through me. I am faith in action. And you know, the a lot of the work that we do is transformative. Okay, and that's distinct from fixing you, because one, there's nothing broken to be fixed, and a lot of the work in being able to look for blind spots, areas that you can't see, require a lot of faith. So I just want to commend everyone for their participation there. But we have some work for you to do. That's right. So the work we want you to do is create the following categories. Nikki gave you an assignment. I get to give you one. And wealth, money, relationships, freedom, recreation. Wealth, money, relationships, freedom, recreation. Under each category, write three situations where faith would make a difference. Under each situation, write what there is that is blocking your faith. Hmm. Now, what conversations can you create that would empower faith in the situation? Got a couple of suggestions. Conversations for creativity, conversations for forgiveness, conversations for possibility, freedom, or love. Just a few suggestions. Now, keep a daily log or post daily on Facebook any results or insights. And please share with the prosperous leaders. Let us know. We like to know. And on that note, Nikki, back to you.
Thank you, Ronnie B. Now we're at structures for existence. Before I continue, are there any last thoughts from the team this evening?
Let's see,
Okay.
last thought. No, one thing, I just want to say that we are in the seminar as much as uh, people listening, attending, whatever way you're participating. We're in it too.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we don't get to just say words and then leave without, we're in the conversation ourselves. And uh, and in many ways, uh, I almost feel like, wow, we want y'all to get value, but I know I'm getting value out of it because I have a commitment to that, and each of the course leaders as well. And what I'm seeing from the sharing, from the emails that came in, and just our own participation is how much in the sea of opinions and the sea of misinformation, disbelief, whatever you call it, this is like a breath of fresh air.
Thank you, Ronnie. Anyone else?
Yes, and just to piggyback on Ronnie, you're absolutely right. We're all engaged in this seminar. We do the seminar with you, so we don't get a pass. So, I'm just present to, some things that, just occurring for me as I'm working through the real mind money matrix, the exercises associated with that, right? So it's just that whole thing, the listening for having money that's already there. When breakdowns happen, yeah, I can't come back to that. I'm like, what's your listening for? Like, what's your listening for money? Like, what's your listening that's already there, that's really driving stuff? Like, what persistent complaints do I have about money that is how it's gonna go? That's my predictable future around having power and freedom around money. It doesn't even have to be around money, just fill in the blank, whatever it is. Around my health and well-being, around my exercise program, you name it. So you could just take this and apply, scratch out the word money and put whatever you want in the blank, because this exercise is like super powerful. It's not
Mm-hmm.
just about money. You could apply this to many parts of your life and have a breakthrough, and really get to the source of, you know what's stopping you from having the future of power and freedom that you want, that's not based on the past. So I'd say, rock and roll with this, rock and roll with the assignments, and take them on like your very life depends on it. That's what I'm doing.
Hmm.
I
Wow.
love the
Mm-hmm.
focus on faith, because when you really understand what faith is, um, it almost eliminates all the excuses for you if you're really dealing in faith. And now you have to start looking at what those real possibilities are and how you move toward them. So I think this whole exercise around faith, if you really dig in, is going to be very revealing.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're right. It's so foundational. Really, it is the foundation.
It is. Once you
That's it.
once you start talking about faith, and if you understand what faith is, it's gonna be deep. It's gonna be a very deep conversation with you and yourself about you.
Something that this conversation makes me think of, and through this seminar, you hear me speak of my different sisters. Now I have six sisters. I have four by parents, and two by another mother. you know, but I got six of them, so I claim them, they claim me. But one of them had had just got a new uh, SUV, brand new SUV. Her and her husband driving down the road. Deer jumps out the road. They totaled the SUV. Now, fortunately, nobody got hurt, but the new SUV was totaled. And my sister says, "Wow, just got this SUV, and I thank God that we didn't get hurt or anything." And she said, you know what? I have to look for the God in this situation. And I thought that was so powerful because here in the middle of, hey, look, bruises, this and that, and got to get insurance. She's going, I know that there's God in this situation. And I just need to look and see.
Hmm.
And,
All right.
and I'm like, whoa, uh, wouldn't that make a difference in many situations? So a lot of and I know that, we, like I said, we got 4 more sessions to go in this seminar, so we're not going to wrap it all up. But the occurring world gives you access to that kind of power, to where when it don't go right, you're able to
Mm-hmm.
say, well, what's the God in this situation? And believe me, she found it.
Hmm.
She found it. And one of the things she said, you know what? She said, well, uh, one thing was we got a new SUV that was actually better than the one that we had. And
Hmm.
and their note went down.
There's no
Mm.
what?
Their note went down. The car note went down. Now they weren't volunteering to run into deers and all of that, but they'll, they, like she said, she looked for the guy, and there was some other stuff. But that's it for me.
Thank you. Thank you all for sharing. I want to also add in again on the faith and also about this being about you. Treat it as the exercise as it is a sense of urgency because this is about your future. And in your being honest about yourself, about what's not present that you desire to have fulfilled or is not at the level of fulfillment that you seek, have faith that what you seek is possible in your creation. Now, with that being said, we have a few ways for you to stand the conversation for living wealthy, the basics, power, and freedom. Number one, being at our next session, which is Living Wealthy, the Basics, Power, and Freedom, Session 3, Tuesday, August 3rd, 8 o'clock.
Nikki, there was a correction. That should be Tuesday, July 27th.
Oops, excuse me.
The week of August
Tuesday,
3rd, one of the course leaders is on vacation.
excuse me, July 27th, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Nope, Eastern Standard Time.
No Central.
Nope, Central Standard Time. Excuse me. Nope, Central Standard Time. Then texting prosper number two, texting prosperous divas to 832-648-1975. That way you can receive daily diva thoughts and inspiration with insights into the world of prosperous thinking from none other than myself, Nicole, Ronnie B, and others. Also, visiting us at facebook.com/prosperous divas. For more information about workshops and seminars, visit us at prosperousdivas.com. And we ask that you please visit our friends at the Veteran Women's Enterprise Center. Their website is veteranwomen'sec.org. Again, Veteran Women's EC.org. Come on, support VWEC as they support our women warriors winning the business battle. Now, please enjoy the performance at the end of the seminar tonight. And remember, prosperity is a mindset that can be created by anyone.